I hate videos. Now, you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is the 14th of August, and last week was the 9th. Last week, Friday, was August 9th, and South Africa celebrated South African Women's Day. It was in commemoration of an event that took place all the way in 1956. So now South Africa celebrates National Women's Day. And if you'd like to learn more about it, please feel free to just look it up. I already covered that on radio. So if you're live with us on LinkedIn or YouTube and you missed out on the radio part of the show, which is live right now, but started about half an hour ago. I'm sorry you missed out. I've been playing some amazing music as well. So if you'd like to go on over to that side, please feel free to click to go to the link that is scrolling across your screen right now, which is africarp.co.za. And you'll be able to have a fuller show because on there, yes, we have this portion, which is the live interview part, but I also get to play some music and share some additional insights with all of you. By the way, pardon me for being rude. My name is Inge van Roy, and I am recognized as a community connection catalyst. I am based in Canada, but this show is live, yes, on LinkedIn as well as YouTube, and more especially, it is live on Africa Radio, which is a radio station based in South Africa that is listened to globally. If you are listening live and would like to send me a message, you can do so via our WhatsApp line, which is, let me tell you, we have a new studio number, so I still need to get used to it. But this new studio number is +27 69 245 9543. Again, if you are listening and would like to send us a studio message, you can do so via our WhatsApp number, which is +27 69 245 9543. So, welcome if you've just joined us. My name is Inge van Roy, and this is Wonder Women Wednesday, where we get to highlight ordinary women that are making an extraordinary difference. And this week, and actually for the rest of this month, I will be interviewing panels of women because why do it on a small scale, right? Um, my guest that is waiting in studio right now absolutely agrees with me because she is from Alabama in the USA. Her name is Catherine, and I'm excited to be able to add Catherine to this conversation. But just so you know, we will be talking to Catherine and a few other women that we're just waiting for. Um, and they're going to be sharing with us some stories about women that are part of their lives who inspire them. So I'm looking forward to that. So if you're watching live, by the way, on LinkedIn or YouTube, please, please, please drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I can see there's quite a few people watching live. And if you are like I used to be, you're definitely shy and not wanting to send a message. But I encourage you, it will be very well received. So send us a message, drop us a comment, let us know where you're tuning in from. Um, Catherine, it's not morning anymore. So I'm not drinking coffee. What's in your cup? Get it ready and show us. But I want to say welcome to you, Catherine Lang.
Yay! I'm glad I'm here.
I'm glad to have you here. How are you?
I am very blessed and I am focused on the next step. This is an exciting time and it should always be an exciting time, not just because I'm here, but because it should be an exciting.
Yes, it should be an exciting time always. So thank you for being here. Won't you please share with the audience who is Catherine Lang and what do you do?
Well, I am a dream instigator. So, what I do is help you unpack and understand your unique design because we're all uniquely designed. And what we often run into is we're trying to live somebody else's design, somebody else's rules, somebody else's plan, somebody else's program. And when we can uncover our uniqueness and we can understand our unique voice and lean all into that, then there's nothing in this world that can stop us. So I'm here to help you do that. Whatever the path is, whatever the situation that you're facing, when you can find your voice and your uniqueness, you will get a way through it. And it'll be your way because if it's not your way, you won't use it. And it doesn't matter how good a plan is, if you won't work it, it's a waste. And you can connect with me over at catherinelang.com or snarkyrainbows.com. Did I break it?
Sorry. So since you spoke about uniqueness, Catherine, um, I'd like to pose a question to you about that. Um,
Hey.
okay, are you ready? Can you tell us about someone in your circle that exemplifies that and who inspires you?
I am surrounded by not ordinary people and I grew up around not ordinary people. So it's hard to pick just one.
Hmm.
I had an uncle and I know we're celebrating women, but he doesn't, it's a long story. But my uncle was very unique. And the best story I have to show his uniqueness is he came back from Hollywood, California, where he had been working in movies. And
Mm.
we live in a very small town, and I rode the bus to my grandmother's house where he was staying, and I was staying with her during the day. And they got to the stop, and everybody ran to the side of the bus next to that faced my grandmother's house. And I looked out the window, and my uncle was standing on the roof of the house in a full Superman costume. So I got off the bus and went to my aunt's house across the street. But I was raised around people like that dared to do things differently. And I
Mm.
was really encouraged. I didn't even know that that wasn't a thing, that people weren't encouraged to find their uniqueness. And it wasn't until my mom passed away that I realized she had not been encouraged down that path. And reading through her notes and her journals, I discovered that my grandmother, they were all put in this box of what it is to be a good Southern woman, and they never learned how to step out of that. And maybe that was part of the reason that they fueled me to do it.
Mm. 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 That's awesome. I'm not surprised that you related to someone that would dare to do that.
It was bad enough that he was standing on the roof of the house that day, but my teacher, I was in a special a gifted class because I am, and she invited him to come speak to the class, and I heard him coming before he got to the room, because you know how when people walk down the hallways in a classroom in a school, the empty hallways, you can hear the footsteps, and it wasn't footsteps, it was flaps, because he was wearing footy pajamas to make his costume whole, and I
Oh.
could hear the flap flap, and he came to school in that full Superman costume.
And how did that feel?
I still don't claim him. When people will say, "Hey, do you know?" and I'm like, "Nope, not a clue."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I could go on and on. We could do entire shows on the escapades of that particular uncle, but he was just one of many people in my life that were very unique. And
Mm.
when I started homeschooling my children, I ran into these ladies that were having 10, 11, 12 children, and they were doing it on purpose. It's not like it was they stumbled across the children in the street and took them home with them. They were having these kids on purpose, and I was in awe of
Mm.
how they could, one, defy what the norm was,
Mm. Mhm.
because the world says this is, you're supposed to have 2.5 kids,
Mhm.
and I'm not real sure which half you're supposed to get, but apparently you just get 2.5. And they
Mhm.
would have just entire, and so I wanted my own baseball team, I wanted my own football team. Baseball teams was kind of my goal. Is football teams really, really big, so I was looking for a baseball team, and they just inspired me because they were doing it their way. They weren't letting other people tell them what to do, and we need more people like that in our lives.
Mm. I love that. I'll never forget when I was pregnant with my third daughter, and the way people looked at me in North America when I said, "Oh, I'm expecting." They were like, "What? Again?" They would say that. And I say, "But the way you're acting, it's like I'm saying I'm pregnant with my sixth or seventh child, you
Yeah,
know? Why is it so abnormal to have a third child?" Um, and really, we do need to um, sing to our own music. We need to
yes,
march to the own beat, to our own the beat of our own drum. Um,
exactly.
why do we need to conform?
I, I really think it is. I don't know. I've been trying to figure this out. We've been
Hmm.
going through this process of, we've been building the Abundant Life program, and we released the Abundant Life program workbook. And so we've been on this path to live the abundant life, to live what we're sharing in this. And so we've been letting go. Just every expectation we have, we let go.
Hmm.
We let go of the property and the home that we had for 25 years. Last week, we let go of all the stuff that we had accumulated. And as we were letting go of the stuff, it dawned on me, when did we become a society of stuff?
Mm.
When did stuff become so important? And you and I have talked about the Israelites and how they had to pack up and move sometimes every day. Could
Mm.
you imagine if you had a house full of stuff and you had to pack it up and move it every single day?
Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you.
And what is it? What is why is it important? The people who gave you the gifts, if you're not using it, if you're not loving it, if you're not intentional about it, what is it doing other than weighing you down? And what we're learning is that as long as you're holding on to the stuff, you don't have hands to receive
Mhm.
the new blessings.
Mm. Mm.
To let go.
Right? I agree. So, can you share? You spoke about, mm, you kind of nodded towards what you're going through right now. Can you share a little bit about that with myself then? everyone listening, please.
Sure. Some folks may know that in 2020 the world turned upside down, and just because we're special, we also got a tornado that landed on our house. And if you looked at the map, the tornado actually landed in our front yard, knocked all the trees down on top of us, went over the house, and then took off. So we were the only person affected by the tornado. We had our own
Wow.
personal tornado. And that started us down this process of looking at things differently, because even if we went back and rebuilt, it wouldn't be what it was. It was not possible. The trees were 120 years old. And
Jeez.
now we would have been in new growth instead of old growth. So we had to start releasing things. And in this process of releasing things, we began to see how God had been walking us through, each of us, my husband and myself. And when we started sitting down and talking about the journey, we saw how the pieces started fitting together. And they were the building blocks of this program that we created. And this
Mm,
program is all about understanding your relationship with God to the point that you can live it out in the world. You know, you
mm,
find out who you're uniquely designed to be, and then you figure out how you're supposed to walk it out in this world.
mm,
And no circumstances, when you know who you're uniquely designed to be, circumstances, whether it's a tornado or quarantine, that won't stop you from becoming all that you're supposed to be.
mm,
And so we have been walking through this and figuring this out one little bit at a time. And along the
mm,
way, we realized we can't trust what man has told us, because even if man is smart enough to know for himself, man is not smart enough to know for me,
mm,
because I am different from that person. And
mm,
even if our journeys are similar, even if they had a tornado land on their house, their journey is different from my journey because they are different people. And as we
mm,
began to see this, we began to realize that we can't rely on what other people have told us, or what other people tell us, or what
mm,
other people demand from us. We have to
mm.
understand our unique design, and then we have to boldly go where no man has gone before, because
Yeah.
that's what it's about. It's a bold step into the unknown, because nobody else has ever
Mm,
walked it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know when I became so aware of the restrictions that are placed on us. I do think it was when I was a child, and I could never understand why. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to wear socks that are folded this way? Why can't I do it this way? Why do I have to wear running shoes like this because my friend has them? Who cares? I wanted to be me and do me. And I remember not thinking like other kids that I saw around me. Um, not automatically being like them and just choosing my own path. I think that's why I like you so much.
Well, you're not the first. I had a really good friend in high school, and I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs. I was just out there in my own little world. And if I had done drugs or drank, it would have not been good for anybody. But somebody asked her, said, "Why do you go out with her? Because you don't. She doesn't drink. She doesn't do drugs." And my friend Pam was just like, "Well, obviously you haven't been out with her, because you don't want to be doing drugs or being drinking when you're out with her." So I enjoy I enjoy I want to be the energy that other women need to dare to be their unique design.
Mm, mm, I love it. Um, I want to read some of the comments because they're not all populating
Okay.
within StreamYard. So I will say hello to you. Catherine made a comment earlier and she said, it's that time again. Time for some amazing Wonder Women. Awesome. And we have Ileana. saying hello as well and watching from Arkansas. I think she might be gallivanting somewhere, but we'll find out soon enough. um, yeah, so, and I also have Daisy. She says, hola, ladies, blessings to you. I'm driving, so I can't talk right now. Thank you for being here with us, Daisy. And then she also says, nope, things are just not that important. When your focus is God and His will is what's really important. Things of this world are temporary. What God offers is not.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we have, I'm not exaggerating when I say we have sold just about everything. We moved all of our stuff into one third of the house that we're in, and the rest of it we put up for sale. We had an estate company come in and do an estate sale just like you do when somebody passes away. And they handled it all. They priced it. They sold it. So there was no opportunity for us to say, but that was my great grandmother's, or that was, and there were pieces in there that were generational, that had been handed down. My grandmother's china, my mother's china, a picture that my grandmother bought specifically because she thought it looked like me. But they were things that in our next step, in our next season, are going to become a burden.
Mm,
And we made an agreement that if it has to be put in storage, it has to go.
mm. Wow. Wow. So thank you for sharing with us. I want to bring on the next lady. So, drum roll, please. Hello and welcome to you, Yvette. You're on mute. So, let us know, who is Yvette Walker?
Hi, everyone. Catherine, I hope you're able to hang around a little bit. You sound so fun. I just came in. It's a work day for me, so I'm on my lunch break now, and I just came in, so I didn't hear your whole story. But you sound fun. Yeah, I don't drink or smoke either. I want to hang out with you. um, it's so funny. I was laughing when you were talking, and in high school there were three of us, and we created the Virgin Lungs Club because we didn't smoke or drink. We were so proud.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I think Catherine, you would have been. We would have brought you into the club. So it's so good to get to know you. Hi, everyone. I'm Yvette Walker. I'm of Positively Joy Ministries. I have a podcast. Which is probably more people know me for the podcast. It's been around for 4 years now. I have a weekly newsletter on Substack, and you can find all that if you go to positivelyjoy.com. And I've written several books, and I'm speaking now. And so it's really great to be here. I'm always honored when you think of me enough as being a Wonder Woman to invite me on here. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
And I'm
welcome.
happy to be here.
Thank you for being here with us, Yvette. We're just talking about, and I say just, but we're talking about women that are in our lives, in our circles,
Mm.
and really what inspires us about them. So, do you have a quick story to share with us about somebody in your circle?
My circle is, how people talk about they have their ride or die tribe. My
Mm,
circle's small because I've moved around a lot. I'm a journalist in my business. I've moved around a lot, and I have a very small tribe. So I do have a couple of ride or die folks. My sister is one, and her daughter, my niece, for sure. And then I have another uh, best friend who I would consider ride or die. And I think what these women have in common are I think I heard you say the word bold, Catherine. They are bold. They they maybe not literally, but they will fight. Well, sometimes literally, they will fight for you. Um, and they're cheerleaders for me. And so I love them. Obviously, I love my sister and my niece, and my best friend that I'm talking about, because I think they share those, and they don't care what folks think. I think that that's so freeing when you know yourself, and when
Mm,
you really don't care what others think. I think that can be very freeing. For
mm,
me, with my ministry, that's certainly important, because if I was worried about um, what people thought about me as far as having a faith-based business and faith-based books and things like that, then that would be difficult, and that would be
mm,
denying the whole reason that I'm doing this, and that's to give glory to my Savior. So, um, again, I think you do have to be bold. I think you do have to be brave. And I think and I see I try to be that myself, but I see those qualities in the women that I'm talking about.
mm,
And my mom, who's passed on quite a long time ago, she also exhibited those same characteristics. And so I think that I want to be around people like that. And I think that that's what I think about the women that I'm sharing
mm.
with you today.
Awesome.
And my sister, in fact, has an illness. She
Mm,
has a kidney illness, and when you have a chronic illness, you do have to have some of that boldness and that braveness just to kind of get through your day. So,
mm.
so prayers up to her for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. It's good to have you. I'd
Mhm.
like to bring on the next person, but her camera is not on. And here we go. Welcome to you, Ileana.
Oh, well, first of all, let me make sure I'm unmuted and my microphone is placed on. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. So for the people that are listening live and not watching, can you describe your t-shirt for us, please?
I think today I decided I was going to put on my Barbie doll hat because I feel like every step I'm taking these last couple of weeks have been on shaky grounds. And so today I woke up saying I am a Barbie and I see everything in a clear mind, in a positive mindset, as well. So today I'm wearing, let's see, it's Barbie in her Jeep car, and I think it says, I don't know what it says, something like dream car, and it shows her driving in a pink sports car, of course.
Nice. Won't you tell us who is Ileana and what do you do?
Well, I'm the girl that's wearing the Barbie doll shirt, remember? Oh my goodness. No, I am the CEO and owner of AHA Workforce Education Solutions. As you can see, it's Wednesday and my brain is kind of foggy. I don't even know what I do. But really, I help people really dream big and open up doors in career paths for free. We try to connect, those resources out there from the government to community to state funding and just try to make people's dream come true. It's time that our workforce pipeline looks like us. And I'm really here shaking those feathers, evidently so more than I really think that I am out here in this world. So that's who I am.
Love it. Thank you for being here. Um, do you have a quick story to share with us about someone in your circle that inspires you?
Oh my goodness. So I know that you guys are going to say me and Daisy are friends, BFF, friends, soulmates, be girlfriends, whatever you want to call us. But I'm telling you, to have someone, if you know Daisy's journey, her being disabled herself and being a single mom, being raised as a single with it by a single mom, being a single mom herself, living the best life and then finding her center point and changing her whole journey and connecting with her spiritual guidance, which she's all into her spiritual journey. I sometimes tell her in the mornings, please pray for me, because maybe I forgot to pray a little bit hard. I need you to pray for me today, as well. But for me, she always amazes me. She lifts me up when I don't feel that I need to be lifted up sometimes. And sometimes when I really do, she surprises me because it's not like, we're 100% transparent every day. Oh my God, Daisy, I'm falling apart over here. It's more like, hey, Daisy, did you see that dang email we got today? And so before I even go into the details, she always has a really positive message. It might be something really simple, but, just to have that little simple motivation in my corner in my big crazy world is very powerful for me.
Sorry, I'm laughing at you, Catherine. Anyway, thank you. That's beautiful. Yes, I know Daisy, and she is an encourager through and through. I think she's listening, so thank you for being you, Daisy. We love you. Let's welcome the next lady. Are you ready for us? Are you ready? We will welcome the next lady shortly. Just waiting for her to be ready, but it is what a wonderful privilege and honor it is to be here with all of you. Yes, I do believe that you are all Wonder Women, and I take my hat off to you because you're all making such an amazing difference in the world and in your communities. So thank you for being you. Are you ready, lady? Next lady, yes. Welcome, Isabel.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect, perfect. Good to be here. Thank you so much for having me today. How are
What a
you
pleasure.
amazing women doing?
I'm good. I'll give you a thumbs up like Catherine.
Good, good. Good to hear
Good,
that.
good. Good to have you here, Isabel.
Thank
Um,
you.
won't you please introduce yourself? Let everyone know who you are and what you
Mhm.
do.
So, obviously, my name is Isabel Drawn. I'm a mother and a wife of three children. My children are 28, 22, and 17. I always say that. But I am the founder of A Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice, where I am a coach and an international speaker. This is where I empower women to use their voices. My goal is to be able to create an impact so women can move through the trauma into a higher state of consciousness and be able to use their voice. I named it Loud Whisper because growing up as a young girl, I watched so many women from women in Africa where I grew up. I had the privilege of traveling. My father, because of his job, so I traveled all my years growing up. But what I noticed is there was a constant theme and experience that women has is suppression of self and suppression of voice. So with Loud Whisper, the goal is to create an impact and to touch as many women as I can to empower them to use their voice, because I believe your voice is the truth of who you are. It is your GPS and it is everything that describes who God created it to be. And I'm also a co-founder of a construction company called Vizex Design Studios. We've been in construction, my husband and I, for about 2 decades now. So in there, I do business development. So we do outdoor living spaces. The whole goal is to I tell people that God has blessed me enough that in both my jobs, I get to change people's lives, right? So even with our construction business, we come in and change people's lives. It's really not about transaction. Our goal is to transform people's backyard. So we take the inside, incorporate it to the outside so that they can really live a harmonious life. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Oh, wow. I love it. Um,
Thank you.
Catherine, Catherine was acknowledging what you said. She
Oh,
says
thank
she
you.
has three sons and they are 28, 25, and 18.
Oh, about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I have three daughters. My three daughters are
me
almost
too.
22, 16, and
Yeah.
9. Spread apart, and people always
Spread
say like,
apart.
"What?"
I know. Wow. Wow. Ileana, thank you. Thank you for your nice comment. I appreciate that.
Wow.
You know what's so interesting? If I can just tell you something about my voice, this is how interesting life is. I hear a lot of people say that, and I receive it with an open heart. But for the longest, I never liked my voice because I used to feel like my voice was so deep. And my dad's mom, she used to have a deep voice, like, "Hey, hi, hi," and I used to be like, oh my God, her voice is so deep. But then now that I'm getting old and really discovering my voice, my true self, gosh, how much I cherish it and just really hold on to it. And now I understand the power of what it
Mhm.
was, the very thing that I didn't want, the very thing that I was like, I want to be like my grandmother. She has a really like voice is the very thing that's happening to me. So I really appreciate that. And that just goes to show you that sometimes the things that we think are not good for us is actually the very thing that we need in our lives. So thank you so much for saying that. I hear a lot of people say that your voice calms me down, your voice. So I've accepted it, I acknowledge it, and now I wear it with honor and grace from
Mm.
God, truly.
And you should, especially because you're also a podcast host.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I am. Thank you for mentioning that. Oh, I forgot that. And season 3 of my podcast actually opened up today. Thank you for saying that. I have a health and wellness
Congratulations.
pod. Thank you. I do have a health and wellness podcast. It's also called Loud Whisper Ignite Your Voice, but it's the healing space. It's the space where we talk about all things humanity, mind, body, and spirit, and just being able to come back to being human beings and move
Mm.
from being human doers that we are. So please subscribe. It's on Apple and all streaming channels. And as I mentioned, thank you, Inga, for I totally slipped my mind for mentioning that.
That's okay. We also have another podcast host right down over there. Yvette
Yvette,
is
I heard
Yvette.
her say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hers is really good as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I actually met her on a platform that was for people that host shows. So that's how
Oh,
we met. Yeah,
okay.
she asked a question in the group, and I sent her a
A
response.
message. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When she said that, I'm like, oh, I need to tell her. She needs to be on my podcast. She has a podcast. And I totally forgot to mention it. So we need to connect, Yvette.
Yes.
Positively joy. I like that.
We do,
Yes.
and like you, I also do not like my voice. In fact, I still don't like it, but other people say it's okay, and it's a
I
little
love
bit
it
deep.
now.
So there you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, yeah, there you go. I love mine now.
Good. So Isabel, share with us a little story about a lady that that's in your circle that has made a significant impact on your life, and why do you find her so inspiring?
Mm. Whew, that's powerful. Yeah, I have oh, that's very powerful because there's so much that I want to say when it comes to this. I'll say it in a twofold. First, it's not just a lady. First is me understanding that I've noticed through different levels, I'll probably say, or different seasons or times in my life when it's time for me to transition, to move to a different level. I notice that God always sends women to help me move to the next level. I started noticing that a few years ago. But what I will say, yeah, I call her a sister. We have known each other for a very, very, very long time. We do totally two different opposite things. But her name is Pamela Lagoya. I'll tell you this. It hit me the other day that this woman has been by my side and she's loved me unconditionally, even as I unfold.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, there's never judgment.
mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it really did. It hit me the other day that, wow, she's been there with me, stood by me, and she has loved me through my journey, through my different metamorphosis of growing, of becoming, of unlearning and learning, of shedding, right, of excavating. She's been there for me and been by my side. No matter how I showed up that day, what I looked like, how I felt, she's always been there. So I pray that I'm that for her. I really do. I pray that I'm that
Mm.
for her. I pray that what she's given to me, I could be that and more to her, because she's been the wind beneath my wings a lot of times. Yeah.
Mm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Very welcome. Thank you.
I'm just looking at the comments.
What happened?
Aliona, she made me laugh. She says, I
I want to
want to
sound like
sound
James
like
Bond.
James Bond. That's cute.
Oh God.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Catherine says, I like my voice, but I've always wished I had a cool accent like Inga. Well, you have a cool accent. Oh, Lord. Catherine also says that it takes courage
It
to live
does.
unique,
Hmm. I
like
love
all you.
Catherine's little. She's. I love her. I do. I do. I know.
And
I do.
if you listen really close, when y'all say that kind of stuff to me, you can hear my husband moaning from wherever he's located, going, "Please don't encourage her."
Oh
I'll
my
tell your
God.
husband, you are our encourager. How about that?
You know, I say that I am born to be an encourager, and so I always look for. I I think that's one of the reasons I've always struggled to find women that I could say I admired, or that, because I was so invested in encouraging other people, I never really stopped to see who was lifting me up.
Mm,
I just
Mhm.
expected to be lifted up.
Mhm.
Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
That makes
mm,
total sense. That makes
mm.
total sense. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
So I want to ask a question. Can you guys, this is a question for all of you, can you share a moment when another woman's support has made a critical difference in your personal or professional journey? Just quickly. And I want to be cognizant of your time because we are um, we are getting to almost more than 45 minutes live already. And Isabel, I think you said that you need to leave. Do you have
Yeah.
time to answer the question?
Yes. 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 Can you repeat that question again?
So the question is, can you share a moment when another woman's support made a critical difference in your either your personal or your professional life?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I with Loud Whisper, I have always, it's something that I say, that the thing about Loud Whisper, for me, it's not a career. I do understand that it's truly a calling, right?
Mm,
Now I get it. I understand that it's a calling. I am convicted, so I don't even associate it with a career. Yes, do I want to make money out of it and live? Yes, that's God's work. That's for Him to create that for me. But it is a
mhm,
calling. But I didn't, for so many years, I always had this vision of me being on stage as a little girl. Always, always. Did not know what it looked like, didn't even understand it. I didn't know that my life experiences was what get me to that stage.
mm,
But as with that stage is me speaking to women, having an impact. But deep down inside, I always said that I'll have a women's conference. Didn't know what it looked like, didn't even understand. But it was that little girl in my heart. I knew that this was going to happen. I didn't understand what it looked like. I met this lady. Her name is Dr. Letitia Thompson. So I met her about 6 years ago. We were introduced because the lady that was doing my branding did her branding. And I remember we went and had a conversation, and I was telling her about my conference, and it was my first year. I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. It was just the vision. I tell people I'm a visionary, so I need people who can execute. But it's the vision that God had given me. And so I told her about the conference. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what it looks like. And she looked at me, she said, we can get it done. You're going to do this. I'm like, what? I've never held a conference before. And I did it. I put the conference together, put everything together, got the room, set it all up, just exactly like how I had envisioned it. This woman stood by me from day one throughout the whole process for the conference. And she said, this will get done. And I'll tell you what, this year, October, I'm having my third year conference, and I just literally got off the call with her. She's part of my board members. She allowed me to honestly believe in it. She allowed me to say, if that's the vision that God has given you for your life, this is possible. I knew it was attainable, but
Mm,
sometimes it's one thing to think it. I could just only see it through the vision of my eyes. And our eyesight can only see so far. She believed in the vision that I told her that God had for my life. And she's like, you were going to get it done. So I am so grateful for her, and for her standing by my side and really being able, because it's hard, right?
mm,
Especially for women, we have this notion, or we've been sold this story that we don't need help, don't ask for help, don't share, you got to do it all by yourself. And it's really far from the truth. It's not just about women, even men. Nobody does life alone. We were not created to do life alone. But because I'm a survivor,
mhm.
I was never vulnerable enough to say, I'm going through this, I need help. And then also, we live in a society, especially for women of color, we're sold this story that be a strong woman, strong woman. So, this false narrative that us women of color carry with us every day that leaves us broken inside, this mask of being
Mm,
strong. She helped me just be vulnerable and let that down, and really is helping me do this work in this kingdom and do God's work. So that's her for me, Dr. Letitia Thompson. That's the girl, that's the woman for me that's helping me really bring the vision that God has for my life into fruition. So I'm really grateful for her.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you, Isabel. Where can people find you? And then you need to jump off.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. As always, Inga, thank you so much for what you're doing, bringing the platform together. I won't keep long. Thank you to Catherine, Yvette, and Ilana. It's always great to be in a group of collective women, like-minded. In Africa, they say, if you want to change the world, educate women, bring women together, and the world will change. So, and that's exactly
Mm,
what you're doing, Inga, whether you realize it or not. The moment you bring women together, you're creating an impact, whether you physically see it or not. But you guys can find me on LinkedIn, Isabel Drawn. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and then I also have my YouTube channel and my podcast. Then also you can go on my website, which is www.isabeldrawn.com. Again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I hope in the future we can all come together and continue collectively changing this world one step at a time, one woman at a time, and one girl at a time. So thank you again,
beautiful.
ladies.
Yes. Let's
Okay.
have a chat soon,
Bye.
please. Much
Okay.
love.
Thank you. Bye
Blessings to
bye.
you. Wow, that was amazing. Aliana, you are next. And you're on mute.
Well, first of all, I was gonna say thanks. You're gonna make me go after that. That was amazing. She's always great as well. I when you said the question that you were gonna make us answer or attempt to make us answer, my brain went 9,000, like who, and I guess I'm more of a moment kind of gal. And for me, the last really impact that I know impacted my soul was during March when we were setting up our event for our 10-year celebration. Running into someone that you don't expect that's going to change your life, I think for me is more impactful than for me to try to figure out someone who's famous or someone that's, what I'm saying. But this lady was in line, and I've shared the story several times, and if you've heard it, so what? I'm gonna share it again. Um, but she was standing in line. They have a really nice cafe inside of a Fayetteville Public Library, but Fayetteville Public Library is also surrounded by a lot of homeless shelters.
Mm.
And this lady was sitting there, and she had a cart, and I didn't pay no attention to what the heck was in her cart, because people now age always have carts to reel around their library books and everything, because who has time to break their back? Um, and so, long story short, she was ordering, and I wasn't paying attention at the time. It was just me and my daughter in the line. And as she kept going, we noticed that the line started to get big, and people, when people just can't wait 5 minutes, if they're hungry, they got to eat right then and there, or they're going to eat you up while they're waiting in line. And, she was struggling and she was going through her wallet. And, I didn't catch on to what the situation was, first of all, because I'm not a nosy body. I don't put my nose in where it belong, right? If you're gonna bring me into the conversation, then yeah, I'm gonna answer. But I've just learned to just kind of sit back but something told me to kind of look up and pay attention. And as I was paying attention, I noticed that she was trying to scrape her cents, her pennies together, in order for her to find what she was even going to order off the dang menu. And I'm thinking, is this really what I'm seeing? And instantly I went into superhero mode and said, no, sorry, excuse me, sir, but whatever she wants to order, go ahead and let her order. I have it. And it was like I was speaking a Martian language. Wah 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 wah. Sorry, that's a Snoopy language. Um, and he didn't understand me, and I had to repeat myself. Whatever she's gonna order, I get it. And this lady looked at me, and her mouth kind of dropped, and she was like, "No, no way." She's like, "Really?" Yes, yes, really. Order anything that you want. And the more she started talking, she really didn't know what to order. The line was full. At the end of the day, for me to be there at that moment and listening to what I had to do was empowering. I didn't know that she was homeless. While we were waiting for the food, she shared with me that she was homeless and she only eats once a day at the homeless shelter if she can get there, and that she was so appreciative and what did she need to do to pay me back. And I felt like I needed just to hug her at that point. Stinky or not stinky, I'm hugging you. I'm hugging you and making sure that you know that there's nothing you need to do for me. Just keep your spirits up and keep on pushing. That's what you can do for me as well. And it was one of those moments that, you know, still I can get emotional on it. I'm really trying to keep it together because I know it's Wednesday. We got several more days of being crybabies at our lives as well. But that was really one of the, really moments that I've had another woman who I didn't catch her name. We didn't exchange business cards. She didn't have a phone to scan. That really impacted probably my life at that moment more than I impacted her
Mm,
life as well. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to
beautiful.
it.
Thank you. Thank you, Eliana. That was beautiful. Um, won't you tell us where people can find you? Because we are approaching the hour. And then we'll go to you, Yvette.
Definitely on LinkedIn. That's our go-to platform as well. Send me a message and we'll respond. And if you need my email, I'll give it to you. And if not, we'll just be connected on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That's a beautiful story. Yvette, you're up.
Hello. This isn't a woman that I mentioned earlier, but like Ileana, sometimes just in the moment you think of someone. And previously, I mentioned earlier that I was a journalist, and in a previous journalism life, I had a very difficult time showing my faith because I thought as a journalist I needed to be completely objective. And at that time, I was responsible for the front page, and I could not, reveal my faith or really even talk about it. And just, I felt like I was hiding something and just didn't feel comfortable. Anyway, I ended up leaving journalism and I went to academia for a while and I was teaching. And so now I'm back in industry. I've been back in the journalism industry for a year. And when I was going through the interview process, there were several people that I had to talk to, but one woman, I was talking to her and we seemed like we were hitting it off. And I just told her, I said, I'm a woman of deep faith. And I said that for her, and I have a podcast. And if they looked me up, they would know, right? And I just wanted her to know that just because I'm going back into journalism, I'm no longer gonna just, hide that. I'm gonna wear it on my sleeve. And she said, "Well, I am too, and there's nothing wrong with that." And that one short conversation it just empowered me so much to feel comfortable going back into journalism, which I really believe that God was leading me to anyway. But knowing that I could come back here, now it's a little different. I'm an opinion editor, which means I get to have opinions, which is a good thing. So it is a little different than when I was in straight news, but still knowing that I could do this job, I really feel like God has put me in this time, in this time for such a time as this. And but also continue my podcast, continue using my voice. And I love Isabel and what she does for women, their voices. Continue to use my voice for him. And so this, during this interview process, one of the leaders, having this conversation, and she just made me feel comfortable and empowered me that I could continue to do what I had started back in 2020 and now, leave basically the university and come back to that. So that was a time, again, and we're not like really close friends or anything, but that was an encounter. And sometimes we have encounters with random people that we might not even talk to again. In fact, she's not even with the company anymore. But we have these random encounters that I think God puts in our path to teach us something, to show us something. And in this case, it was to show me that it was going to be okay. I didn't need to be worried about, what I wanted to do in my daytime job, so to speak. But then also what I had committed to, and that was speaking and writing in His glory. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Yvette. That's awesome. Where can people find you if they'd like to get in touch?
Absolutely. Positivelyjoy.com is the website that you can listen to the podcast and you can see my books and everything there. But if you are interested in getting to know me a little bit more as a speaker, if your church or women's ministry have a need, go to YvetteBabsWalker.com. So it's Yvette Walker. My middle name is Babs, B-A-B-S, YvetteBabsWalker.com, and you can learn a little bit more about me there. But also, if you want to get a hold of me, positivelyjoy.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Thank you, Inga.
And thank you for your time. It's good to see you. Let's reconnect soon. Hey, Catherine, you're next.
Yay! And on all those positive notes, I'm going to go straight down the gutter. Here we go. Ready? The time that I was most lifted up, and I really was thinking about this because I've had a lot of opportunities especially over the last 4 years. But the biggest impact someone had for me was when my mom died. My mom died on a Saturday, and my middle son was having a birthday party at our house. We were hosting a birthday party that afternoon. She died in the morning, and we were hosting a birthday party that afternoon. And I called my friend Suzanne, and I said, I need you. And that's all I had to say. And she showed up. She met the boys because they were working an event, and I was at my mom's house, and they were going to walk up to her house. She met them so that they wouldn't walk in the house. She took them to our house, and she and my other friend Vicky hosted the party, which was amazing in and of itself. But then Vicky's oldest daughter came and helped. Her and her boyfriend came and helped wrangle all those kids. It was a murder mystery party. So it wasn't like it was something little. It was because why do something little, and know that there was somebody I could just pick up the phone and go, I need you. And she was there for me, physically there for me. It's great to know that I have women who I can reach out to and pick up the phone and say, hey, I need to talk. I need to walk through this. I need to work through this. But to know that you have people that will physically show up is a huge relief and a huge release in your journey. And if you don't have somebody that is going to show up and be there, be that person. And you'll discover that you do have those people in your life. Suzanne is still in my life, and if I called her today, she would be there. Vicky won't go away. So we need people in our lives that will not go away. And we need
Mm,
people in our lives that will show up when we call.
beautiful. Where can people find you, Kath?
You can find me at snarkyrainbows.com. That is my blog, but it'll also take you to, if you are looking for an encouragement and inspiration, I am called to lift up, stir up, and cheer up the children of God. And I'll let you figure out which is the most important. So if you need someone to do that for you or for your organization or for your podcast, I'm the go-to person right here. Or you can also find me on LinkedIn. Catherine Lang is my handle on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you, Catherine, Yvette, Aliana, and Isabel, who spent this time with us. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being those women for me. Um, I'm inspired daily by my circle, and I'm privileged to call you my friends. So thank you. I'm going to send you to the green room as I wrap up the show. Be blessed. If you need to drop off, that's all right. Thank you so much. Bye. And if you're still watching, I want to say thank you for being here. Um, Calvin, you are awesome. He said, Catherine is definitely that kind of person who shows up all the time. She is the lift up, stir up girl. Thank you. And thank you to those who have sent us messages and made comments. We appreciate you. I want to challenge you if you're still watching or listening. Um, First of all, if you have time, come on over to africa.co.za and tune in. I'm going to be wrapping the show up there. But if you don't have that sort of inspiration in your life, I want to say, like Catherine says, if you're not enjoying the ride, get off, get out of the ride. Um, if you don't have those kind of people in your circle, I want to challenge you to be that kind of person to someone else. So come on over to Africa. We're going to be wrapping up the show there. But please also tune in. I'll be back next week with another panel, and we'll be talking about the same thing, but really to inspire you to be the best version of yourself for yourself and others. Until next time, take care and be blessed. Stay tuned.